Now, I didn't mean to keep you guys waiting all month, but YouTube, welcome back once again to Libertalia Game Supply. I thought I had this deck list prepared for you all, but every time that I thought I was ready to post that new list for you all to feast your eyes upon, something bigger caught my eye. Konami has given us the greatest card game in the world, and along with it, so many great decks. Things like Zodiac, Burning Abyss, Terraments, and the list goes on. But make no mistake, decks like Peruse, decks like Kashtira, those decks are great because Konami gave them to you that way. Bujin freaking Bysteals are great because I built them that way. Because I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Libertalia Game Supply. Now play my song. Alright, if all you're interested in here today is to see the deck list, this is for you right here. Boom, there it is. Take it all in. Main deck, extra deck, all of it. That's for you. And if you feel like rewarding me for just giving that to you rather than making you listen to me talk for another 20 minutes, maybe subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to make this crew larger than life, and I'd love to have you on board. But if you do want to understand why some of these choices were made, stick around. The explanation will be coming up right here, right now. Alright, let's get right into it. So if you've been playing Bujins for a while, this will probably look familiar right at the beginning here. We got Triple Torifu, the heart and soul of the deck, your main combo starter, so we're playing 3 as well as many ways to search it as possible in this deck. So summon it anyway, tribute it, summon 2, a Bujin Beast Warrior, and then a Bujingi of whatever sort. And then you combo off from there. So pretty much every combo, or at least the most reliable combos, are going to be some combination of Torifun plus 1 or more additional cards, varying from like very specific to not specific at all, and all those combos will be at the end so you can see all of that. But gotta have the triple Torifun. For the extenders, we've got double Mahitatsu. This is probably the worst extender, but the best search off of Torifun because it's Foolish Burial effect. So on summon, or after summon, you would banish the Torifun out of the graveyard in order to Foolish Burial a Bujingi to the graveyard, or if you need something to banish for a Bysteal or a Harume or something, you would send just another Bujin that you don't need, a Bujin Beast Warrior. But the reason I say it's the worst extender is because it is a special summon for free out of your hand, but you need to discard to summon it. You're usually not dealing with a ton of card advantage because we don't play a lot of draw. We play search, and we are trying to like narrow down the stuff we need to make reliable combos rather than draw into a bunch of stuff because the draw power just doesn't really exist in the deck yet. And so it's less good for that reason. We're also playing double Arasuda. Just a free special summon out of your hand when you banish. Usually this will be a search if you already have something that's going to banish, especially now with the Bysteals. You are going to search this when you already have like a Harume or a Bysteal in hand, or as just like part of an entire combo because you're searching something that will banish, and then this is like a free additional plus, special summons itself out of your hand in defense mode. So we're playing 2 of that. We got double Harume. It can't be normal summoned, otherwise this would be a for sure 3 of, but banish 1 out of the graveyard to special summon, banish a Bujin out of the graveyard specifically. So it will trigger the Arasuda. It is pretty useful any turn after turn 1, more or less. Even if you got it turn 1, if you have some of your other setup, it's fine turn 1. 2 of that has been fine as well. And then 2 Haruko, the rank up. So activate it in the Pendulum Zone, banish it, rank up one of your Xyz Bujin monsters into any of the other ones. So typically you're going to be ranking up a Susanoo into an Amaterasu, but there are definitely times where maybe you have like the nuts in your hand, and so you're going to rank up that Susanoo into something else because you have extenders already, or you know, whatever the case may be. You can rank up into Tsukiyomi to refresh your hand if your hand is crap right now. So really good card. 2 of there also. Really 2 ofs on all of them seems fine. The only thing maybe I would consider bumping is Arasuda or Harume. Otherwise, the only other Bujin Beast Warriors we need are Mikazuchi and Yamato. There they are, right there, right there, right there. You don't really need them, but I won't cut them, as you are aware if you've seen any of my deck lists before. These would probably be better off being 2 additional extenders, but I'm too loyal to the Bujin army to cut the originals here, so they will stay. consider that 2 free slots if you are not as dedicated as I am. For our Bujingis, we got the 1 hare banished out of the graveyard to protect something from being destroyed once this turn. We got the 1 turtle. This has become a pretty quick MVP, like my favorite Bujingi so far, just to try to get in graveyard as fast as possible. Reason being is it can shut down Imperm. So if turn 1 I have the Torifun, summon it, special summon the Mahitatsu and whatever, usually the Mahitatsu and the hare if I didn't draw it, and then use the Mahitatsu effect to banish the Torifun to send the turtle from the graveyard, or to the graveyard, and then you have that protection against Imperm if they try to Imperm your Susanoo or something. Boom, protection. So pretty awesome. The 1 Quillin banished to pop a face up, the 1 Centipede banished to pop a Spoiler Trap, and the 1 Sinew, it's like a crane out of the graveyard, banished to gain attack like Honest, but then it deals half the damage. So just like a graveyard searchable Honest, or crane I guess you would call it. And I've considered trying to force the crane back in there somewhere just to have the additional body for Torifun, as well as crane has kind of a cool effect in that the damage isn't split. So if your opponent builds a big board and you can get Susanoo on board, you can do a ton of damage and wipe out a huge board just like that. Between crane and Sinew, you can do a ton of damage. But for now, it just doesn't work. Now into the Buy-Steal engine, we've got double Lubellion. I was going back and forth between 1 and 2 and possibly even 3. The reason I stuck with 2 is just because space is kind of tight. It acts as a bridge for Small World, so you have that going for you. This can be searched out with Small World as long as you have any Bujin in your hand, or even any of your other hand traps that act within the Small World thing that we'll discuss here in a second. So it can be searched that way. It also can be in your hand with Small World, and it can be turned into a Torifun if you wanted to go that route. So 2 felt fine. 3 would have been probably a lot because we're not playing that many of the other Buy-Steals. So 2 Lubellion there. We've got the 1 Magnum Hut to search, we've got the 1 Druisworm to pop, and we've got the 1 Baldrake as well, just for additional bodies. You could probably cut the Baldrake for an additional Magnum Hut or probably the additional Magnum Hut. But I wanted to play 1 of everything, and that's why I kind of was thinking to play the 1 Lubellion as well, because I had thought that they were going to get touched on the ban list. They didn't, meaning they are not at 1, none of them, so you could play multiples, but I wanted a small package. I wanted to play at least 2 Lubellion so that my Small World targets were still all there, and this is how I ended up. And then for the other Small World target / hand trap, we got the double Ghost Ogre, so it works the same way. A Bujin can be Small Worlded through this into Torifun, any Bujin, other than Mahitatsu, which sucks, so you could play the Nibiru and then it doesn't conflict with anything, but I just thought the Ghost Ogre was more reliable all game versus Nibiru after turn 1 is not quite as live. And then we got that infamous Small World here to start off our spells. So just you're looking to either turn something into Lubellion or turn something into Torifun at this point, and we're playing 3 of them because it's one of the best rogue search cards in the game. Triple Tenki because it is a Bujin deck. If you're playing Beast Warriors, you're probably playing Tenki, so you gotta max them out when you can. They're probably gonna take them away again at some point, so enjoy the 3 while you got them. And then for our Galaxy Eyes little engine here, we've got 1 Photon Sanctuary and 1 Numbers Last Hope. The Numbers Last Hope, I did end up deciding to stick in here for now. I don't know if I'll end up keeping it, but I like it. So it's an additional search target for Galaxy Photon Dragon. The Sanctuary shuts you off from anything that isn't light monsters, so this means you can only summon light monsters, and it is important because it's part of your like 1.5 card F-Zero combo, so you do want to have it in there. The Last Hope does not, but it does limit you to only being able to special summon 1 additional time after the activation and summon off of its effect. So the way it works is you activate it, it takes 2 monsters out of your graveyard and puts them on board, and then you have to immediately Xyz summon a number monster with them, and then you get 1 additional Xyz summon after that. The main reason it's in here is because it can make F-Zero after you've like linked away Xyz monsters. You can just Last Hope them back out, so you can go, you know, Susanoo, search an extender, Galaxy Photon Dragon, search the Last Hope, link them away for something, and then Last Hope to get the 2 Xyz back out, make the little F-Zero, and then right into the big F-Zero. It also can be used to make like Bagooska or Utopia Rising, which I'll explain when we get to the extra deck, to then be follow-ups if you've already made the F-Zero, and then The Utopia Rising especially, you can Last Hope into Rising. Utopia Rising can use his effect to get you your F-Zeros back. There's a whole lot of interaction, so it just seemed like a really nice comeback card. It's kind of like Bujin Carnation, but a little bit more broad there. And then we've got the one Foolish Burial, the one Called By, shut down hand traps, send stuff to the grave because it's a Bujin deck. And then Branded Regained, so this is just a search target, like a secondary search target for Lubellion. Etude's probably going to be the one you're searching first, but Regained is a really nice plussing card for this deck because you're going to banish usually at least once per turn. If you open it, it's free draw essentially. It's like it replaces itself because you're going to banish something unless you totally brick. And if you've already searched the Etude and you've left the Lubellion on board, because that does come up, you can just search it on your second Lubellion search on the following turn and get your Regained on board and just free pluses. So really good card. We've got the one Etude. This is your main search off of Lubellion, and you'll see that at the end of the video here I've got the combo that shows you how to set up to pass turn and then make Chaos Angel on your opponent's turn. It also acts as a little floodgate, so Lubellion would be on the board in that instance. Wello Bysteel is on board. When your opponent uses monsters to extra deck summon or ritual summon, it banishes them instead. So a little tiny bit of a floodgate effect there, but it's mostly there to set up that synchro summon of Chaos Angel on your opponent's turn so that you can start just wiping boards with Chaos Angel's effect plus some of the other ones. And then our final three, triple Imperm, because it's one of the best hand traps. Going first or second, it's fine. And yeah, just like the Imperm, so keeping it at 3. Into our extra deck, we've got one Ahashima. This is another main combo piece. The only reason I don't play more than one is because it can't be linked off into something else. So once it's on board, it pretty much just sits there as a way to use your graveyard Bujingi effects, or until it dies and you can just put a new link monster on board, because you're usually going to link summon and then put something in the slot that it points to, an Xyz monster, so that you get a secondary effect to pop back row whenever you use that Xyz monster's effect. So you're usually not even going to be able to link summon into the slot that would allow you to just keep link summoning, which the deck is built around that. The only other link monster we're playing here is Nightmare Unicorn. I've selected the Unicorn just because it's slightly better than Phoenix, I feel. However, Phoenix is a link too, which would allow it to make Numbers Last Hope a little bit more live. Unicorn, however, having the spin effect is pretty good, rather than just being able to pop back row, so it can kind of wipe out whatever is the problem, rather than Phoenix just wiping out the one. Plus, Utopia Rising has an effect that summons itself out of the graveyard, which can put extra bodies on board, and ultimately, this will not be here come Age of Overlord. This will be SP Little Knight. For now, it's just here. You could play whatever you want in that slot, really. For the Bujin Xyz, we got triple Susanoo. I tried cutting it to 2. You just cannot do it. Susanoo is the extra deck monster in Bujins. You gotta play 3 of them. It's just, you're gonna summon them all a lot of the times. You're at least gonna summon 2 pretty much every game. We've got the one Kagutsuchi because it protects itself, protects other Bujin monsters. You can do a cute little play putting this and F-Zero on board, which is a pretty gnarly board to try to get through because this can protect itself. F-Zero protects itself and negates stuff. Plus you would have the Ahashima on board in that effect, so you can start popping back row and stuff. Of all the Bujin Xyz monsters, this is probably the one that you would most be able to play without, but I really like it, so I didn't want to cut it. The one Tsukiyomi, to refresh the hand a little bit, it comes up as like, if you had a bad hand but you were able to get into some combo still, you could just Tsukiyomi in the middle of your combo at some point, refresh your hand, and then continue the combo as usual. So it kind of just, it exists without existing, it feels like. And then the one Amaterasu, because you need it for the rank up play to get stuff out of your banish zone back on the field to be a new body, or if it sits on the board until the next turn, you put it back in your hand as follow-up. So you're pretty much just going to get your Torifune back in hand. Otherwise, you're just going to put the Haruko back on board as a body for more special summoning. And then we'll do the entire Galaxy Photon F-Zero package all at once here. So we've got Photon Dragon, which will search your Photon Sanctuary, your Numbers Last Hope, both of which can get you to this. We've got the Utopia Rising, and then we'll separate these two. The little F-Zero and big F-Zero, I think you guys are familiar with. This just is needed for this. However, because of Rising, this can end up being a monster on your board with this as well. So Utopia Rising is just a generic 2 level 4s. When it's summoned, you can target a number monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then attach this thing's materials to that monster. Also, when it's in your graveyard, if you Xyz summon something, it can special summon itself back. It has 0 attack, so it's just a body. In the instances where you use it, it's only to get back to your F-Zero most of the time, and then if it's in the graveyard and you summon it back out off of its effect, you're just going to be using it as link material, or it's just going to sit there, or you won't use the effect, you know, whatever. But The way it works is if you summon this and this gets, say, compulsed, like spun back, whatever, this goes to the graveyard. You would summon this off of your Number's Last Hope. This effect would special summon this. This would give it material, and then you would just put the F-Zero back on top. If you didn't get this killed, and you just detach this guy first, you can then, any level 2 level 4, so it doesn't have to be Number's Last Hope, you can just summon 2 level 4s, summon this, and then it gives you the F-Zero back, and then you have the F-Zero steal effect and steal effect on boards. So, it just seemed like such an anime line of play that I had to do it, and it does actually work. Like, it's not super gimmicky and janky, I guess kind of a little bit, but it works fairly well, just kind of within itself, acting as a way to kind of cycle through everything. And we do play the one Bagooska. It's like an additional Number's Last Hope target. This could probably be replaced by something else. My thinking was just like, you can do a cute little combo to put this F-Zero and Ahashima on board. So the F-Zero would be in defense mode, as well as this. So it'd be shut off, but the Ahashima would stay in attack mode. And then you would try to probably dump the Sinew to graveyard so that you can keep the Ahashima strong to keep it on board if they manage to play through the Bagooska. And then if they clear the Bagooska, the F-Zero still would be able to negate and steal. So it's like an additional layer of effect negation that they have to play through, and it's kind of whatever. We've got the one Zeus, it's an Xyz deck, and then we've got the almighty Chaos Angel, wipe stuff, protect the board, all that good stuff. Great card. The whole reason I wanted to play the Bysteel engine in the deck was so I could play Chaos Angel because I love it so much. It's pretty much just an Xyz monster that requires a level 6 and a level 4 to summon. But that wraps up the list. Stick around, watch these combos. They'll be timestamped down below if you want to skip to specific ones, just to get an idea of how all the cards are interacting with each other there. Man, I'll tell you what, if you watched all of that, you are fucking amazing, and I appreciate every last second of your attention that you've given me. Happy deck building. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.